This was Zombie. This was the music video that we reacted to not too long ago by Youngblood. You remember this one? So that was Zombie. We had Breakdown not too long ago.
Guess you're right, I'm sorry about that.
No matter.
See, and I know that I only have to show you like a couple shots and you're immediately going to know what I'm talking about. That's how good this guy is. So let me introduce photographer, director, Guinness drinker, apparently, self-proclaimed Brit. All right, let's see if we can do this. Let's slide him over and hope for the best. Charlie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? I
can hear you. Are you getting an echo? And chat, can you hear and see Charlie?
No echo.
No echo? Dude, you can hear him?
It.
Hey, we did it.
It's
Dude.
Happening. It's happening. Well done.
Oh,
Roscoe, you're a genius. I don't know how you did that.
I mean, hey, y'all heard it from him here. All right. Dude, I dressed up. I got fancy for you.
I know you've got well, should I put a shirt on?
No, God. I'm not wearing pants if that makes it fair.
Yeah, I've got tracksuit moms.
Nice. Are you wearing socks with your freaking slug? Dude. Oh.
Yeah. It's full comfort, mate.
Oh man.
I actually wear these on set, and Youngblood, the whole Youngblood team always laugh at me. And like, even when we shot a video that you're going to see today, one of the first things they said was, "Did you bring sensible shoes?" And I was like,
"Nope."
Yeah, and I didn't. And the production company out there had to buy me some new shoes to go up a mountain.
Dude.
Thanks for having me on.
No, dude, thanks for doing it.
This is my first live experience, so I'm nervous.
Well, to be fair, you should be. I'm just kidding.
Loads of people just shouting in the chat like, hello. But hey, it's going to be fun. You're the leader. I'm just here for the ride. I'm here to talk and answer any questions that you or the couch. Do you refer to them as the couch?
Well, I call them.
Am I the couch?
No. You're on the couch right now.
I'm on the couch.
Generally, these are. Oh, let me see if I can do it, bro. I'm gonna show off real quick.
Yeah, go on.
I'm Roscoe. I'm the director, and then they are the couch crew, the international bucket of brats.
Yeah, fine.
Now I will tell you,
and I'm the bucket of Brit.
All right, that's pretty good.
I'm
gonna have to make you a little name tag.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I will tell you, I'm gonna be pretty biased here when I say this. Of all of the places that you could go live for your first time, this is a pretty safe bet, bro. We got a good crew.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I've watched a lot of your stuff, and a lot of your videos have the chat on anyway, and I love it. I think it's such a unique way to like chat and communicate. And I think we were talking a bit earlier about how like my videos come out and I have to wait months for people to start like telling me how bad they are. Whereas you get it pretty instantaneously. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, some people might hate some of the stuff they see today. To be fair, I hate some of the stuff people will see today, so it's fine.
Well, I will tell you though, what's great about these cats over here is that most of the time they won't say, "Thanks, I hate it." They'll say things like, this is interesting in a way that I don't appreciate.
Perfect.
So
that's
fine.
The kind of criticism I like.
Right. Oh, man. So we're probably going to get some questions at some point from the group, because I know there's going to be a lot of questions as far as like behind the scenes stuff or any little bit of, extra information in terms of the videos. But can I ask you first, like how, like you have photography, you have director, you started off as a photographer. How did you was there a catalyst that turned you from photographer into director? How did that begin?
Yeah, well, so I basically started as a photographer and then realized that there was no money in photography unless you make it. So essentially what happened is I studied photography at university, and then while I was there, I was taking photos. There's a band called Mumford and Sons.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know if you know. Yeah. Anyway, so they run a music label called Communion. And I basically would go to the communion nights in London that happened once a month. And I'd always take my camera, my film camera, a dusty old thing, and I'd shoot photos. And then basically I met someone from communion who basically was like, come to the office and we'll have a chat. Went to the office. Anyway, ended up taking photos of all their artists, Mike Kiwanuka, Gautier, Ben Howard,
Wow.
like all of those lot. And then basically they had a videographer who made a lot of their stuff. He needed a second pair of hands on something, so I helped him. And then that basically spiraled into me helping him lots and lots. And then he did a big shoot where I met someone else there who worked for MTV. And then I got a runner job in the studio at MTV in London, and basically would just steal the cameras at weekends, make videos with my friends, like go to the studio on weekends. Stormzy, I shot some Stormzy stuff in that studio. So like kind of, it just kind of built naturally. And then basically one of my friends was like, oh, one of my friends is coming over from Jamaica for Notting Hill Carnival. They need a video. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Didn't know who this artist was. And then it was Sean Paul and Major Lazer.
Oh yeah.
And so I ended up making that video, but like I had no idea what I was doing then, and I wasn't a director. But essentially my first agent found me through that video. And then she called me, signed me. And then about 2 weeks later, I was directing kind of my first project as a director. So it kind of happened really, it took ages and then happened really quick. And then now, I mean, when I think back to when I started, I had no idea. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but then I had no idea. Do you know what I mean? So it's been a really fun journey. And I think like, no video is perfect. So, and the great thing about videos is that the thing that makes videos different is the sort of director or the person with the idea, because we're all different. So therefore, if me and you made the same video, a video for the same artist and same song, the video would be different naturally. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and that's what makes it so special. But then when people resonate with something that you've made, it's so like amazing, because you're like, wow, that came out of my head while I was sat in my pants in my spare room. Do you know what I mean? Yep. Like weird. It's just like, it's mad. So, you know, and Zombie's a perfect example of that. Like, I think the amount of like reactions it's had on like streaming channels, and just like the amount of views and sort of, you know, it's been crazy. And for a video that's so personal to both myself and Dom or Youngblood is like amazing. So it's amazing what the power of what we do has, basically.
Absolutely.
And you never really think about it, do you? You're just like, oh, I'm going to have a fun day with all these people on set. And then 16 million people watch it and all cry.
Dude.
Yeah. So it's pretty mad.
So
yeah.
Like with a video like Zombie, did you come up with that idea, or was that like a collab with you and Dom, or how did that work?
Yeah. So me, Dom, and Dom's creative director called Tom Pallant, we're kind of all friends. And then there's like, basically it's like me, Dom, Tom Pallant, Adam Wood, his manager, and Jules, who's kind of like looks after his socials and stuff like that. Okay. We kind of sit in a room, sit around a table, and we'll work out ideas for. So last November, we went to LA, stayed there for a week, listened to the album over and over again, watched loads of films, watched loads of music videos, and came up with loads of different ideas for all of the videos on the album, just because we didn't know what was going to be singles or not. Zombie was kind of, we actually had to write the treatment on the last day of shooting the first video of the album. Okay. We had to write that treatment the evening we got back. So me and Dom stayed up till like 4 a.m. writing that treatment, and then had to be on set at 6 a.m. But we needed to send it to Florence's management. So that we had like a rough idea that was very different to what it turned out to be.
Always the case.
Always the case. So the idea on the table was like going down a very different route. But me and Dom kind of decided that it needed to be more raw, more honest, and kind of more like not documentary, but like there are elements of documentary in there, but then it feels so cinematic for a music video. And like, you know, so I've spoken to so many people and they're like, dude, I watched that video. And it's like, how did you make a 3-minute video feel like an hour and a half film? And that's like really special because in the modern day, music videos are like, put the artist front and center, make them look pretty, and nothing else really matters. Whereas me and like the Youngblood gang, we don't want to do that. Like videos should be iconic and they should feel important to the tapestry of that artist. And so it's always collaborative. Even when we're on set, it's like me and Dom will still not have arguments, but we'll have discussions about like what frame it should be or why that. And, you know, essentially my job is to try and teach Dom as much as I can teach him so that one day he can go off and make his own videos. Like that's kind of what I want with Dom is like, he has such a vivid brain, like his imagination's crazy. And by far is like probably I think every director kind of finds an artist that they love working with. And I think with Youngblood and that team, it just feels like home. And like I've worked with a lot of artists number of times, like multiple times. And I've always been like, this is great, it's going well. But with Youngblood, it's like we always are pushing up until like the VFX, we're pushing it as far as we can go. Do you know what I mean? And we don't have loads of money, but we're trying to make it look like we have loads of money. And so and then we call in favors, like Florence giving us, you know, a day of her life.
That was a favor.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, and Marvel, I think she was in like the Thunderbolts film was coming out at the time, so she was like on the press run for that. So they like she flew over just for that shoot, and then flew back to do. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's mad, like mad.
That's sick.
But yeah, so with zombie, well, with all of the Youngblood videos, there's a few of them, but it normally starts with like a very simple idea that either I've come up with, Dom's come up with, or Tom's come up with, and then we'll build on it. We'll all regroup like a few days later, thrash it out. No idea is a bad idea. And then it gets to a point where we're like, cool, this is the video. We have a shot list, which is very specific. We know exactly what we're going to shoot. And then it's a case of just getting on set and shooting it, which sometimes is easier than others. Like, you know, but with the zombie film, it was easy because it was in London. Whereas Hello Heaven, which is the first video, we shot 2 days here in London and then 2 days in Bulgaria. And then because we needed snowy mountains. And then, so they kind of take us like videos, we go wherever we need to go.
Right.
Really.
The shot is the shot.
Exactly. And kind of sometimes it is also it's like we have an idea for a shot and it's like, you know, on the Yorkshire moors or something. And we're like, well, which are just basically hills in North England, if you don't know, but essentially lots of hills. But essentially we were going to shoot something there. And then actually it was like, well, maybe we should go further afield because it will look more epic. So kind of, yeah, it's a very collaborative process. And kind of like the way I like working the most is like this video in 10 years, no one's going to go, oh, Charlie did that. They're all going to go, oh, did you see that Youngblood video with Florence Pugh in it? So at the end of the day, it's got to be as much Dom's as it is mine.
Nice.
Because otherwise we're just all egotistical maniacs, really.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Yeah.
They have to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you said you'll keep a shot list. Like once you get the treatment down, you get your shot list and you know essentially the storyline that you're going to play out. Do you go so far as like the full storyboard and everything? Yeah.
I think with some of the projects, especially some of the Youngblood projects and my more commercial leaning work, I have to storyboard because agencies demand it. But in music video land, because the budgets aren't as big as they probably should be, or used to be at least, storyboards don't really exist anymore unless they're useful to me to
Gotcha.
explain an idea. So like often, like we gave Dom wings in one of the videos, and for me that the easiest way to explain what the wings look like was to draw them. So I'd draw the storyboards and I'd explain when they were coming out and all of that. And for me, drawing is super useful, but also sometimes when in the pitch process, I've been known to whip out my iPad and like draw some drawings of scenes so that if I can't find the exact reference, I'll draw the reference.
Okay.
So that's won me a few jobs in the past. There's one video in particular on the sort of list that we've got today where I did, because it was so confusing to explain it in words, I actually just drew the main scenes. So storyboards mainly for commercials, but yeah, it's
Okay.
shot list. We live and die by the shot list, basically.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. And see, I might have some goofy questions for you, because you as like a commercial director, not just commercials, but like the music videos, and you're dealing with like production companies. With my aspect of working with the military and the groups that I work with, it's an entirely different world, where most of the time my stuff is more guerrilla, and it is like literally, hey, there's a helo coming in, get on the helo, get everything you can, and then you're off and you're following the team in. And then by the end of that, it's like, hey, you got 24 hours to put something together. Here's your theme, go.
Yeah.
Now,
mad. Absolutely insane.
When you finish with everything on set, do you have a team of editors? Are you taking that footage yourself? What does that look like usually?
So I have an editor that I've worked with since I started. So we've been working together for too long, he'd probably say, but 8 years we've been working together. And basically I'll walk off set. The hard drive will be sent straight from set to his house. And then depending on who it is and how it works, but with someone like Dom, me, again, we'll all get in the edit room probably like 2 days after we finish shooting, and we won't leave the edit until we've got a locked edit. So we will stay for however long that takes. Normally we get it done in sort of like 8 hours because our shot list is so specific. We know what's going where. And then with commercial projects, normally we're sort of talking 30-second adverts. Again, they've been storyboarded. So Tom, my editor, is more just sort of coloring by numbers almost. There are some projects which I recently did. I was in China a couple of weeks ago shooting a project for I will leave them unnamed, but an unnamed sports brand. And that was a sort of 5-minute project. And that we didn't storyboard. I had a shot list of shots that I wanted to get, but in terms of like the placement and all of that, it very much hindered on a sort of hero interview. So with a project like that, that becomes more of a process for Tom, because he needs to sit there and go through it all, really. So they really differ, but I have one editor. It's a nightmare when, you're working on, sometimes we have 4 or 5 projects on the go at once, and that can become quite a nightmare because I only really want Tom to edit all my stuff. And sometimes we have like had to get other editors in, but Tom's overseen it still, and it's we make it work. And then obviously once you've got a final edit, we then send it off to a color grade or a color house who basically will kind of finalize the look of the visual. So normally my DOP, who again is like one of my best friends, I'm the godfather to one of his kids.
Nice.
But he will do the shoot that evening. He'll go home and he'll kind of put almost a small deck together of the shot raw and then the shot with the LUT on, and then what he'd do with it. So then we send that to our colorist, who then basically will look at it and put his own spin on it, but definitely is inspired by what we shot it as.
Awesome. Okay. Decent.